Hey, happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. So I had to cancel on my guest today from before. So that's why we're here on a Monday. You know, we're usually here Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon, but we're here on a Monday when I just meet amazing people, or if I have to reschedule on guests, we'll do a show on a Monday. But if you're new, we're all about overcoming obstacles. We're about defying the odds and inspiring you to clear whatever's blocking the path to whatever success that you want in this lifetime. So whatever platform you're joining me on, if you're catching me on any of the podcast episodes, please subscribe, please download. If you're catching the live stream on Facebook or LinkedIn, same thing. Please like, please share, because we're sharing things that can literally change people's lives. So I've had guests from all over the world, from 6 of the 7 continents. Our audience spans across 65 countries. And why is that? Because the grind is global and the struggle is also global. So I bring guests on from all walks of life, and they share their stories of how they overcame the hardship. So if you're going through something in your life, these shows are here for you. All right. So we're going to talk about from chaos to calm. And we're going to talk to Bob Martin, who's done a lot in his life, but I'm not going to read about it. We're going to bring him on so he can tell you about it. Bob, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
All right. Awesome. So where are you joining me from?
North Carolina.
Nice. What part?
Place called Elon. It's a college town. It's kind of in between Durham and Greensboro, not too far from Chapel Hill and Raleigh.
Okay. Are you originally from NC?
Oh, no.
No. All right. So where are you from?
Well, I kind of grew up in carnivals and amusement parks. We traveled a bit. But I would say I'm basically from New York and Miami. We sold hot dogs on the boardwalk in New York, and then cotton candy and popcorn in Miami in the winter.
Nice. So that was a family business?
That was my dad's path to the American dream, popcorn and cotton candy.
No kidding. How did he get into that? That's fascinating.
How did he get into it? So he immigrated from Hungary, escaped the Bolshevik Revolution. My dad was born in 1898. Whew. And so he met my mom, and they were walking around in Lower Manhattan trying to figure out how they were going to make their way in America. And he passed by a store and he smelled something, and he looked at the window and it said, "The great new taste sensation from the Midwest, popped corn." And he went inside, he put down 3 pennies, and they gave him this big bag. And he'd take a taste of it, and he looked at my mom, and he talked like Dracula, because he was Hungarian. He said he says to my mom, "These I can sell. There is nobody that would not like these." So they had $600 saved up, and they bought themselves a popcorn machine and a caramel corn bat, and they were off and running.
I absolutely love that. But now I'm no math major, but you said your dad was born in 1898?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said you're 75.
Right.
Okay.
So he had me when he was 54.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute. Like, my grandfather was born in 1913.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's
okay.
It's a time span. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I got to tell you something funny. One day, he lived 97 years. And so in the mid 80s, I went to him and I said, "Hey, Dad, when you were born, there was hardly even indoor plumbing, and you saw a man walk on the moon. And what was that like?" And I expected I was going to get this dump load of all great wisdoms and stuff. And all I got from him was this. He said, "Well, it all happened kind of slowly." That's all I got.
Really?
Yeah.
Who would have thought, right?
Yeah, right.
Oh, God. I can already tell this is going to be a fun conversation. All right. So the beauty in what you just shared is that the path to success is not as complicated as people think it is. Like, they had $600 saved up, made some caramel popcorn, and started a family business. Like, that's insane. So the first thing I want to ask you is, when you hear people today say that there's no opportunities, what goes through your mind?
I feel for them. That's the first thing that goes through my mind, is I really feel for them, because life today is complicated, and it is even made more complicated by the fact that the animal that we are, the human being, this Homo sapiens guy, really did not evolve for the kind of environment that we live in. And so it's challenging. I mean, we evolved, to have a lot of physical labor, hunter-gatherers in the jungle, eating onions and berries, not McDonald's Happy Meals. And, you think about it, people go to the gym, right? Why do they go to the gym? Because the guy back, 10,000 years ago, he didn't have to go to a gym because his whole life was being in a gym. And he would look at people today who are like, lifting weights, and he'd go, why are you making more work for yourself? Don't you have enough physical activity in your life as it is? He wouldn't understand. And the thing is that we don't think that our minds also are evolved for a very different, more simple time. And so if people feel there's no opportunities, I can understand that, because life is challenging these days. It's complicated, and no longer does danger present it. This might be a longer answer than you asked for. I'm sorry, but
no, it's okay.
But no longer are we confronted with dangers like saber-toothed tigers and cobras and the like. Today, our dangers are deadlines, there are appointments, there's new viruses, there's things we got to complete, there's people we got to please, and all those things. And so rather than, our minds being able to focus on the lion, and we know what we got to do, run or fight, rather than that, our mind's constantly jumping around to all of these different things that are confronting us. And biochemistry is the same when we have a deadline that we are stressed out about, as if a cobra was rearing up to strike us. Maybe not in degree, but it's the same thing. It's stress producing. And so today we have this chronic, undifferentiated danger that confronts us, and it's hard for the mind to deal with. But once I get past that, once I get past feeling for them and getting it, that life is complicated these days, my next thought would go to, well, my friend, life is what you make it.
Yes, absolutely. So I share on this show all the time, because I've been through a lot of stuff in my life as well. Hence why I'm hosting the show, because I want to let people know you can get to the other side of it. And
yes, you can.
It all starts with your mindset. Like, I just joined the program that started today, because I'm going to launch a speaking business. It was $15,000. Right now, this moment, I can't afford that. Right, I can't afford that. But I also can't afford not to. Like, if I want to advance my business the way I want to advance it, I need to just dive in and make it work. And like you mentioned, gym, I'm actually sitting in a gym, right? I'm a fitness coach. Why I show up in a tank top, because this is my authentic self. Like, this is what I wear every day. I'm not going to show up in a shirt and tie. Like, that's not me anymore. Back
well, I gotta tell you,
restaurants,
I gotta tell you, you got beautiful shoulders.
Thank you. It's all those pull-ups.
Yeah, right.
but like, to your point, life is what you make it. And so many people make it complicated. Like, it doesn't have to be. Like, people can come here into the gym. I'd be like, hey, listen, here is the blueprint for you to lose 20 pounds. It's up to them to do it. Right? They let social media, they let TV, they let their significant other, they let the kids, they let all these other distractions get in the way. It's like, if you just follow the blueprint, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah. All right. So let's get back to you. So you went through some stuff in your life, just tell me a bit about it.
Well, like I say, my initial ambition in life was to sell enough hot dogs on the boardwalk in Queens, New York, so I wouldn't have to work in the winter.
That's where I was born.
Yeah, Queens. Do you remember Rockaway's Playland?
Well, I didn't say I remember a lot. I was just born there.
Oh,
We
born there.
moved out of
Okay,
there when I was like 2.5
there you go.
when we moved to Rhode Island. But
Uh-huh.
go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
So a strange set of events. That's a whole nother podcast. But a strange set of events caused me and brought me to becoming a lawyer. Becoming a lawyer was something that was life changing for me, because up until then, I thought that my role was just to be a carny, And the ethic of carnies is that everybody inside the carnival, they're your brothers and sisters. Anybody that walks into the into the carny, they're a mark, and your job is to relieve them of whatever money they have with them. You know, that's just the ethic,
Fair.
Um,
Yeah.
but I didn't expect that I was going to be a lawyer, and when I became one, all of a sudden, it kind of dawned on me that I was opening up a door where I might be able to make a difference. I didn't know difference in what, I didn't know, but just that I would be able to do something that you might say was, quote, important.
Mm-hmm.
And I started out as a prosecutor, and we prosecuted a lot of the cartels. Now I'm talking just time frame. We're talking Miami during the Scarface era. If anybody's seen the movie Scarface or Miami Vice, the cocaine cowboys and all that craziness. So that's when I was there, and we wound up hitting the mob for a lot of money. Long story short, I wound up being a mob lawyer. And it was the cocaine cowboy days, and I'm not going to hide it. My behaviors were rather excessive. I was hanging out with
Okay.
these guys in the chrome and glass discotheques. I was ignoring my families. I was tooting up. The whole concept of Chivas and Coke had a whole different concept in Miami of those days.
Okay.
And so my life was kind of falling apart, and the drugs and the alcohol. Professionally, I was, the cat's meow. I was making money hand over foot. Paid my house off by the time I was 34 years old,
Okay.
and it was great. Personally, I was going down a rabbit hole. So I was seeing a therapist, and crazy set of circumstances, but it just so happened that my therapist was one of the main devotees, a top student, and the English language editor for a 72nd generation Taoist master from the Shaolin
Wow.
Temple,
Okay.
Master Hua Ching Ni. Think of that, 72 generations. That means that his wisdom was passed down from father to son for about 1,400 years.
That's
We can't
crazy.
even wrap our head around that, So
Watching me was his real last name.
Ni was his family name, Ni,
Oh,
and
oh, Ni. Okay.
yeah, so Ni, and it used to be Ni Hua Ching, because the Chinese always say the last name first, but
Okay.
then it was Americanized. Anyway, so Master Ni came to Miami on a regular basis, and there was a Taoist group. For those of your audience who don't know much about Taoism, I'll just say that it's kind of a sister to Buddhism. It's another one of the Eastern thinkings. And so I studied under Master Ni, and we learned Tai Chi and practiced the I Ching and Qigong and all that energy work. And um,
Before we fully go there, right?
yeah,
Sorry to interrupt, because you
sure.
said something a second ago that flows with the whole tone of this show, where you were
Hmm.
talking about how your life was a mess and you're not gonna run from it, right? I think that was a powerful statement, because a lot of people that get caught up into depression and getting into addiction and all this other stuff is because they're dealing with stuff and they don't want to put it out there, because we live in this Instagram, my life is perfect world now, or
Hmm.
TikTok showing your best self. But it's very important to share the messy parts of your life, because that's what the people can, like, if I came in on here and people just started talking about their Mercedes and their $1 million business, so the average person can't identify with that, but people can identify where you were at a crossroad in your life and you made maybe not the best of choices, but you were able to move on from that.
Yes, sir.
So just before you get into the transformation, just talk about how you got out of that life.
Well, I was seeing a therapist. I went in and asked for help. I guess that's the first thing. You kind of recognize that this is not sustainable at some point. And I think that there's a kind of denial that goes on where you know that it's not sustainable, but at the same time you deny that and somehow believe, well, just for tomorrow. It's kind of like the same thing as diets. You say, well, I'm going to go on a diet tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. And so, I know this is not sustainable, but I'll do it today, just for today. And one day turns into a week and a week turns into a month. But at some point, you have to take cognizance of the fact that it indeed is not sustainable. I mean, you can't be excessive. There's an old saying in Taoist, one of the Taoist sayings is even nature cannot sustain a thunderstorm for very long.
Like that.
So excessive energy, wears itself, blows itself out. And that's what happens. Master Ni once explained it this way. I thought this was really cool. He took a string and he put it down on the table and he pushed one edge of it up and he pulled one edge of it down and he pushed another edge up and another edge down. And as he did it, the right side of the string got smaller and smaller because now the string was going like this instead of going like this. And he said, this is how life is. When your behaviors, when your energies are very high and very low, your life expectancy decreases because you're using the energy up in all of the great oscillations. And the more you will have oscillations, but the more gentle you can make those oscillations, the longer the line of your life stretches out. And I thought that was just a great illustration.
That is. That's amazing.
Yeah, I learned so much from him. I would also say, something else that comes up in my mind from what you asked about this. To the unskilled life, and I'm not saying it's a bad life or not a normal life, because it's normal and it's not wrong, it's not bad, it's just typical, but it's not skilled life. There is a part of you that you believe is your true authentic self. And if you were unfortunate enough not to get enough goodies, pats on the back when you were a child and you got a lot of criticism, then that criticism kind of like sticks in your head and you're thinking, I'm not good enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not thin enough, whatever. And that's back there, and you believe that is your true and authentic self. But, Robert, I can't meet you and say, hey, Robert, my name's Bob and I'm a piece of crap. I can't do that. So I have to create a public face. And we think that public face is a fraud. I just made it up. And I can't let you get too close to me, because if I let you get too close to me, you might find out who the real me really is. Now, here's the crazy, and I call it the double reverse whammy of life. The person who I am being critical of, who not good enough, not pretty enough, all that, those were opinions that were formed at a young age when I wasn't wise enough to be able to put the criticism into context, and I accepted them as a reality, but they are not true. They are not true. And the public face that I created, hey, man, I created it. How could I create it if I didn't have it? So the public face is who I really am. And the hiding face is a complete fraud. I think the fraud is real, and I think that the real is fraud. So naturally, my life is going to go in opposite directions the more I try to work, because I got this double reverse whammy going on. And you got to befriend your shadow self. You got to get it that that's not who you are. And that's where, yeah. Go.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I was just gonna build on what you were just saying, because I do countless shows on this. Because I am me. I am unapologetically me. And just like, for example, in class earlier today, one of the women had her pants on inside out, right? And so one of the other ladies noticed, but she didn't say anything. And I was just like, Karen, are your pants on inside out? And I was like, you just called her out in front of everyone? I'm like, that's what I do. Like, I don't hide anymore. I'm 50 years old now. It's like, I don't hide anymore. It's like, I am me. This is who I am. And it's for the world to either accept or reject me. That's what it is, because people are afraid to get that rejection.
Right. And assuming, of course, that you have a modicum of grace and empathy and understanding, and you're not just going to be out and out rude with that. We have to moderate ourselves, I think, to some degree, just understanding that everybody's sensitivities are different, but we do have to be authentic.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, that particular example, that was more playful.
No, that's playful. That's like playful, and that's cool.
Yes, like when people come to me, I always tell them, if you come into me with a question, be prepared for the answer, right? And again, and it's not about hurt. It's not about hurting feelings. It's about being truthful. If you're trying to help someone to transform, like if I come to you for help, I want your brutal honesty. It's like, I don't want to sugarcoat it. Don't worry about hurting my feelings. Like, I'm trying to get you to a different place. And people need that approach. Other people need a gentler approach. That's why we're all different. We have different skill sets, right? So the people that want my approach, they'll gravitate towards me. People that need a more empathetic approach, they'll gravitate towards someone else who's more empathetic. But it's important for you to be you, be your true self.
Right. We are a very diverse group of people. We are. We're very different.
Absolutely.
No, I mean, all of us. We all have different talents and spiritual gifts and the like. So, one thing that the Dalai Lama said that I enjoy, he says about relating to other people. He said, if you have something to say and it's hurtful, even if it's helpful, don't say it. If you have something to say that is helpful, but it's hurtful, don't say it. If you have something to say that is not hurtful and it is helpful, then choose the right time to say it.
I like that. That. That's solid. It's like, excuse me, just like being here in the gym, using this as an example. Like, people come here, they're paying a monthly fee. They're coming here for a reason. Like, the other day I had kettlebells out, and one of the women comes over and she's like, "That's too heavy." I said, "You didn't even try to pick it up." It's like, if I just took that at face value, then she would have never gone out of her comfort zone. So it's right. My approach. Yeah, my approach is always, all right, let's try it. Let's try it and see if it works. If you pick it up and you feel any strain in your back or your joints or whatever, then we'll drop it down one. But you can't defeat yourself before you even try, and again, that's true. Yeah, it's like, that's the premise. Like, that's the whole point of why we're doing this, because like I coach track and field also, and I tell the kids, if you want to do a personal best, you have to do something you've never done. Right. So if people want to expand their horizons, you can't wake up and do the same things every single day and then expect to have some type of leaping success. It doesn't work that way.
No. If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got.
Yes. True. All right. So let's get back to you and your transformation. All right. Whatever you want to share, have at it.
So anyway, I studied under Master Ni for 6 years, and it was transformational. I mean, I learned an awful lot. Taoism is all about learning how to go with the flow, but in a very profound and deep way. It's not about taking your hands off the wheel and merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Because, if you're going with the flow and you think of that as like floating down a river, that's great when the river's calm. But what happens when you get into whitewater? You got to pay more attention, right? And if there's a waterfall coming, you got to pay a lot more attention. So there are different, intensities of attention that are appropriate for different times in your life. And you have to become sensitive. And that's what Master Ni taught, how to become sensitive to what the characteristics of the flow are, and then how to align yourself with it to be effective and efficient. See, the difference between you and me is that you have, you're working with the physical body for the most part. And the physical body is clearly receptive to the kinds of things that you teach. I mean, do a little bit more weight, time under tension, and increase weight, right? Those are the two things that you want to continue to increase. And as long as you can continue either the time under tension or the weight, you're going to see a result. Where I have to be a little bit careful is, let's say, we're doing something like a body scan. And this particular client has had trauma, maybe rape. So you're doing a body scan. When you get to the area of the hips, you may have some concern about how the body scan is going to map on for this particular person. Because, so many folks carry that trauma and they carry it in their body. And you well know, you've seen it come out, I'm sure, that people get, sometimes it becomes a huge obstacle to get over. And sometimes, we just have to say, that's not the kind of obstacle that I can effectively deal with. Perhaps you should see somebody who's more trained in that area.
Yeah, definitely knowing your lane is key. Like my ideal clients here are people who just want to stay fit,
right?
Stay fit. It's like when my gym, I was in a different part in Rhode Island, and there was just a heavier population there. And we did a lot of weight loss challenges and things of that nature. But this particular location, this is a pretty healthy part of the state. So we focus more on performance, performance goals, and it's about knowing who you're serving. It's like if I try to run a weight loss challenge here, it's not going to go over well because everybody here is skinny and has muscles. Right? So we have to come at it from a different angle.
Right.
But back to what you were saying about your transformation, your life with all the craziness, and you went to see a therapist. Was there a moment before was there a moment that caused you to reach out to a therapist? Like, what was the breaking point where you knew you had to get help?
We're going back about
I got him thinking.
30 years. It got me thinking. You got me thinking. I can tell you what I think it is. There was a couple of folks who came to stay in our home. One of the guys I'm in my 30s. This guy was in his 50s, and he came and stayed at our house. And he was there long enough to see, how I was acting. And I had a little 22 caliber pistol. And I don't know why it was out, but it was out. And I was at the refrigerator, and he was sitting at the kitchen table. And somehow, I don't know why, but he had that gun with him, that little 22 caliber pistol. And he looked up at me and he says, "Man, you might as well just take this gun and shoot yourself in the head.
Wow.
And it was just such an unexpected thing for somebody to say.
Yeah,
You know, it's just, and I looked at him and he says, because, man, you're just killing yourself with all this crap. And I respected this guy. And I think it was that I didn't think that he knew. I didn't even think that's how much of a denial. I didn't even think he knew how excessive my behaviors were. But they were so obvious to everybody, you know, that, wow. He picked up on it immediately. So I think that was the moment. Now, it still took a little time to let it sink in and for me to talk myself into taking the next step. And I think that I needed a little bit more of a boost. I was talking to somebody else and they told me how great this guy was. And I went to, visit him, and his garden was just gorgeous, and there were little bells tinkling and a waterfall in the garden and everything else. And I immediately felt at peace when I walked into his office, and it was just something about him. So all those things together, kind of formed a path. Okay. But it was a good swat in the head, that smack in the head, that started it.
All right. So what drives you now? Like, what's Bob's mission?
Yeah. So like I mentioned, I was a mob lawyer, and and right about the time but right about the time Master Ni's teachings are beginning to grab hold of me, and I'm beginning to see life very differently. Right about then, just so happens that I run into a little conflict with my mob clients, and we all decided it would be better that I move to North Carolina. Not North Carolina, but just move out of Miami.
Yeah.
And so I decided to go to North Carolina. When I got there, it was like, it was this wonderful gift, because here I was, a different person, and I was given a blank canvas to rewrite my life. I mean, how many times does that happen to somebody? It's miraculous. And so I was able to do that. And as part of the process and part of Master Ni's teaching, there came a time when, I don't share this with everybody, but a physical occurrence happened, and that was my heart opening. And I say it was a physical occurrence because I felt it physically. I felt my heart open. I felt the energy, the heart's energy, just flow into my body. It was, we're practicing energy work and Qigong and Tai Chi and all of those things. And, you're working on your energetic system, your nervous system all the time. And I don't know, it's above my pay grade to say whether it's spiritual or whether it was this or whether it's that. All I can tell you is that I had a physical sensation. And after that, I was absolutely sure that what I wanted to devote my life to was easing the suffering of those who I could have an impact on. And so, so when I came to Miami, to North Carolina, I devoted myself to only working with the indigent, to kids in foster care, kids in the juvie system, their families, doing that kind of law instead of trial law. Yeah, so that's what my life was devoted to after that. And it feels like that was right. And then in 2015, I retired from the court, but then the university here picked me up as a teacher. So I've been teaching at the universities for the last 9 years.
Okay, so you're not practicing law anymore?
I only practice law again for in the realm of helping parents whose kids have been taken away because of abuse or neglect, to try to get their kids back by changing their behaviors, if they need anger management, or if they need NA or AA or whatever they need, to get themselves back into a place where they could be considered safe to have their kids back. That's the work I do now.
Okay. All right. So I probably have about 7 minutes before I have to go.
Okay.
So what else do you want to share?
I want to take a little bit and share a little bit about meditation, because what you would do and what I do are really similar. They're just in different parts of the body.
Yes.
When people think about meditation, they think it's about quieting the mind. And it's really not. It's not about quieting the mind or hushing the mind up or sitting in some kind of twinkly, crystal, tinkle, tinkle, nirvana. It's not that at all. It's about strengthening the mind. It's about developing a tolerance for discomfort. And that's what you work with, right? Because it's those last couple of reps that are just uncomfortable. I don't want to do it. And you say, give me one more, right? And in meditation, it's the same thing. When I start out with a new student, it's about learning how to notice your thoughts without becoming engaged in your thoughts. And that's not as easy as it sounds, but there is a way to do it. Just like you have there's a certain way to do a biceps. You don't want to move your elbow, right? You keep your elbow close and it's all bicep, right? Well, meditation has the same kind of coaching, stick to the instructions, stick to the blueprint, and your mind will strengthen. And you may not see it and you may not feel it today, but you will in a week. And I really believe that strengthening the mind and becoming more skillful about managing your thinking is just a neglected practice. And it is one which is so needed now. In order to you can be physically healthy and still have a problem with wellness if your mind is not, at least managed well. So
yeah, so that's true in sports too. If I can interject real quick.
Oh yeah.
So as I mentioned earlier, I coached track and field, and one of my athletes last season, this kid had the physical gifts. He was tall, big frame, muscular, had really good vertical leap, but he just beat himself up every single track meet. And I would plead with, I'm like, there's nothing else I can tell you. There's nothing else I have to teach you. It's up to you now. I'm like, you have to believe that you can do this. Like you can't force someone to believe in themselves. And no matter how encouraging I was and his teammates were, just every meet, it was just like a meltdown after meltdown. Like he was a jumper. Like the bar would get to a certain height, and then he would just get in his head and started talking about stuff from 2 years ago and 3 years ago. It's like, that doesn't matter. I'm like, I need you here. I need you in the present.
No, I mean,
I'll bring it back to you so you can finish.
I had the same experience with one of my students who, she started out saying, I don't know why I don't practice. I don't know why I don't do it. I don't know why I sabotage myself. Eventually it came down to, I just don't think I have the right to be happy. And she was crying and wailing and sobbing. So I started asking her, like, where in your body do you feel this? And what are the exact words that are in your head? Trying to get her into the present moment, because when you're looking at your physical sensations, you can't do that in the past or the future. You have to be here in order to do that. And then, when she started trying to identify her body sensations, she stopped crying. And I said, so there you see it. We're here in the present, and there is nothing in the present that's dangerous. Now, there might be a lot of things that happened in the past that gave you an idea, and there might be a lot of things in the future that you're catastrophizing about. But right here, right now, there ain't nothing that's dangerous, and you're not crying. Notice that. And so we kind of, like I say, we work with the same concepts. Right here, right now. All you got to do is the next right thing. You don't have to worry about the future, and you don't have to worry about the past.
Yeah, like I tell people, again, to your point, yes, it's good to be aware of possible negative outcomes, but just focus on things working. Like I mentioned,
Oh,
this
oh,
program
oh.
I joined. Go ahead, go ahead,
Let,
go
let
ahead.
me tell you.
Go
Let
ahead.
me
I triggered
yeah,
something. Go ahead.
something that my dad taught me. He brought me out to teach me tennis, and he would beat the shit out of me. I mean, he was a player for 20 years, and I was just learning. Hey, this isn't fair. You always beat me. He says, if I let you win, you wouldn't appreciate the win. A
Mm,
and B. He said, look, let me tell you, this is how it is. I never forgot this. He said, you play each point like your life depends on it. But when the score comes up at the end of the game, all you need to do is shrug your shoulders and go on to the next game, because the score is not what's important. It's playing the next point.
yes, love that.
Love that.
So true.
Love that.
So
You know,
true.
then the score is whatever the score is. You know,
Hmm.
um, you know the story of Roger Bannister, the
Yes,
four
of
minute
course.
mile, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's the primary thing about mindset. All these people didn't believe it was possible to break the 4 minute mile barrier. Even the doctors said that it's not possible for the human body. They even had drawings and calculations. Impossible, impossible. Then Roger Bannister broke the 4 minute mile, and in the same year, once he did it, 69 other people did it that year. Once in your mind it was possible, then people could do it. But when it was impossible, people couldn't do it. Just amazing
Yes.
how important mindset is.
Absolutely, it's everything. Like I was an athlete myself growing up. I'm still in decent shape now. Joints. The physical body looks fine, but the joints underneath, that's a whole different ball game, right? Like I've had 7 surgeries, but I say like when I play basketball, when I shoot, like I shoot to make it. When I compete in track meets, I compete to win. It's like if I don't win, I'll deal with it. But I compete to win. And in everyday life, people play to survive. And I did that myself. I'm speaking from experience. Like I jumped into this program. It's like yeah, I do okay, but you know what? I want to thrive. Because if I thrive, I can help more people. And my motivation isn't even personal because I'm not money driven. So it's not like I want a big house or I want a fancy car. No, you know what I want to do? I want to retire my mother. That's my why. My mom is 73 years old. I want her to work because she wants to, not because she has to. And I'm going to make this
Gotcha.
program work to make that happen. So sorry to go up on that soapbox, but let me
That's
give
good.
you let me give you the final word, and then let people know if you have any programs going on, if you got books, or where they can
Mhm.
find you.
Yeah. So everything's consolidated into my website, awiseandhappylife.com. And I've got a couple of free downloadable ebooks about what meditation is and 25 tips on relaxing. And matter of fact, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern time, I'm having an absolutely free meetup, a mindfulness meetup. You're
Mm.
more than welcome to join and come in and drop in. There's no obligation. We're just going to talk about what meditation is and answer people's questions. So that's every month. Every month, on the first Tuesday of the month, I got some free downloads for you. And of course, if you're interested in learning or taking a course in meditation, I offer that as well. awiseandhappylife.com. And
Awesome.
and if you want to get on a quick phone call with me, just go to the website and hit the contact us and send me an email. We can jump on a quick phone call.
Okay, in 30 seconds or less, give us a strong final word.
You're not your thoughts. You're so much more.
See, and I love how quickly you said that. I love that because that's how I know that came really from your soul. Because sometimes I'll ask people that and they'll have to think for a second. That's
Mm-hmm.
one thing I pride myself on when I'm guesting on podcasts. Because like I don't ever send talking points or anything. Like ask me whatever you want to ask me because my stories are dialed in, and it's like all of my answers are super quick because I speak from my heart,
From your
from my
heart.
soul. Yes, and again, we do this to inspire the audience. So thank you for taking time out of your day to come here, share your stories, share your expertise. You are welcome back anytime you want to come, because I'm sure we didn't get all of your story. I also do panels if you want to come back and join one of the panels.
Ooh, I love the name of that. Embracing vulnerability. So important. It's like drop the shield and become invulnerable.
Yeah, that was a really good one too. Like we were supposed to have seven of us on, but a couple of them couldn't make it at the last minute. But the beauty of the panels, going back to what we said earlier about having diversity of thought. That's why I bring back multiple people and we pick one topic, and everybody gives a different perspective on that one topic. So again, thank you for being a part of this, and I look forward to crossing paths with you again.
Thanks. I'll be back. Oh,
I don't have the outro ready. There it is. All right, take care.
You've been listening to Shut Up and Grind. We hope you've gotten some useful and practical information from this show. Robert has over 20 years experience pouring his knowledge and expertise at many events in the service and fitness industry, as well as secondary schools and universities. He has a true passion for helping others break through the barriers that are holding them back. To book Robert B. Foster to speak or to reach out, go to robertbfoster.com. Till next time, shut up and grind.